Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Volvo Christian, and welcome to the Easter egg. It's almost Easter, so we're warming up or preparing ourselves with this moss yellow EX30. Really wicked color, but we're not going to talk about the color today. I have just made a video with the 5 things that I like, the 5 good things with Volvo's EX30. And I could probably make a longer list, but either way I had to stop somewhere, so that was the 5 good things. And if you haven't seen that video, you can find it on my YouTube channel just before this one, because in this video I'm actually going to talk about the 5 bad things with Volvo's EX30 and also one ugly thing, and that will be the good, bad and ugly. And it's worth mentioning, and it's really important to mention it, this is my personal opinions based on my previous experience with the EX30. And if you haven't followed my journey on the EX30 here on YouTube, I can just quickly summarize that. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I picked up a Vapor Grey single motor extended range. I had that was a presscar from Volvo Car Norway. I had that for about 10 days and I drove 2,500 kilometers. This moss yellow twin I've had since last Wednesday. I'm going to deliver it back tomorrow, and I've driven about 1,200 kilometers. And I've also attended the big winter drive with Volvo cars, and if you summarize everything of this, I have driven about 4,000 kilometers in Volvo's EX30. And personally myself, I am a Volvo enthusiast. I've owned 10 Volvos. I'm currently driving a XC40 Recharge Twin, and I started with the V40 back in 2012. So this is my own personal opinions, and a lot of people will disagree with my opinions, and that's totally fine, but let's keep a polite and nice chat in the comment section, and I would love to hear your thoughts about my 5 bad things. Maybe you have something else that bothers you with the EX30, because we're not gonna fool anyone to say that this is a perfect car. There's obviously some bad things with every car, and the bad things will be very subjective on what you find that's bad. And this is just my 5 bad things. But that was enough for the intro part. Let's kick it off with the 5 bad things with Volvo's EX30. So let's start on my point number 5. I wasn't totally sure on what should be my point number 5. I had 2 options, and one of them was this dumbass button on the luggage door. It looks nice, but say you have been shopping, you have bought a new camera, and you have something else in your other hand. Maybe you have your phone, and you're approaching the car. Yeah, I have a lot of bags as well, so I can't reach this thing. Why can't I get a touch or a kick sensor? And if you're thinking about you have something on your button, let's see. This is the key fob. There's no buttons on the key fob, so you can't access. And this is just when you have like shopping bags or you have suitcase or something, you want to access the boot. You have to press this button. It's okay now because the car are freshly cleaned, but usually here in Norway on the winter it's either covered in filth or shit or just snow or ice. And I find this to be not the best solution. I actually wish that it had a kick sensor. I will gladly pay extra to get a kick sensor. Just a little thing to make it easier, because you can open the trunk door from the inside of the infotainment, I know that, but if you're approaching the car and you have some things you're carrying, it would be very easy to just have a kick sensor here. I would pay extra, definitely, like 5,000. I understand that Volvo wants to keep a certain price point, and that is totally fine. It's a cheap car, but why can't I just get a this is 2024, should be standard, but so yeah, it's just nitpicking, I know, but when you're sometimes carrying a lot of things and you have to just do this or try to get this, yeah, it worked. But on winter times, when I was up in Gjøvik with the extended range and it was covered with ice, I would just have to hammer away the ice and then get access to the button. Yeah, it would be better if it just was under here, but yeah, kick sensor. The other thing that was debating on my point number 5 was actually the frunk. I'm going to show you the frunk. Just going to open it, double hatch, and then I have to collect the charging cable because now it's placed on the floor in the back seats. Because the frunk, what has happened with the cable here? This is pretty tiny. In my opinion, it is so tiny that it's almost useless. Yes, you have some moose things going on here, but here's the charging cable. This is pretty tidy wrapped up, but put it down. Let's see it, get it down here. Yeah, it can't even fit the charging cable, and that I think is a must. In order to get this thing under here, you have to really be good in. This is like origami or something. You have to bundle it really, really tight. And who the hell bothers to do that? Let's see if I manage to do it in this video before the video are over. You have to really bundle it tight together. I'll try to do this as fast as I can. Let's see, we do this twice. Let's see. And who the hell bothers to do this? Let's see if I manage to do it. Oh yeah, if you can lay there. Come on, close. Yeah. Almost. Yeah. So, who the hell bothers to do this? I think this should be either deeper or just longer, so you can just lay it down. Because it really is a hassle to fold it so tight together. So what I do, I just put it in on the floor. But at home, it's connected at the wall. It's just hanging there. So, but yeah, this was next with my number 5, the frunk or the button. I'm not sure what is my number 5. So it's on a tie. And then we're jumping in the interior. You're now joining me on the inside of Volvo's EX30. And surprisingly enough, or maybe not surprisingly enough, it's actually here we find all my top 4 bad things with the EX30. It's pretty beautiful here with the tailored wool and the mist, but it's not perfect by any means. And I think the interior are actually the most polarizing thing with Volvo's EX30. Because I'm reading, and all the people I talk to, like 90% of them, have only good things to say about the EX30. It looks good, it drives good, much power, decent range. But when they talk about interior, and I'm not sure how many comments I have read with the interior are shit. And the interior are really budget, low class, not Volvo. And honestly, I have to agree, the interior are the weak link with Volvo's EX30. It is here I think Volvo should have just spent a little more to make it slightly better. Because there's definitely room for improvements here, at least in my opinion. I would love to hear what you think. Maybe if you disagree with me, that is totally fine. But I think there's definitely room for improvements here. And some of the things I will bring up are maybe just nitpicking. But it is what it is. And this is just my opinions. Even if you think it's nitpicking. But let's start with my point number 4. And that's actually the brake pedal. I don't like the brake pedal feeling it gives me. It's really low on communication. I think it should be more progressive in its wandering, and especially on the single motor extended range. That was just completely dead, just numb, no communication. I was just, okay, you more, okay, I need this much, how much do I need? It was like, there was no communication from the brakes to the pedal to my foot to say, okay, now we are here. It's just completely numb the whole way. Slightly better here on the twin. But yeah, I wish it were more progressive, that when you push harder, you can really feel it gets harder for each incline, and communicative with the brakes on how much power you need and how much power you are applying. So the brake calibration, not a fan, not a fan. So that was my point number 4. Now we're jumping to my point number 3, and that is the single screen, the one screen layout. I'm not a fan at all. I can't see any benefits or advantages with this one screen layout for me as a driver. I know that Volvo think this is really sustainable, because I talked to an interior designer and they say that by reducing this driver display, this one screen, just reducing one screen has huge benefits in terms of sustainability. And at the press release, Volvo said that they have this one screen to reduce material use and also to give an airy cabin. Just going to tune it slightly down so it won't be so loud. But I don't see any benefits. Yes, it's more sustainable, but why should sustainability win over practicality and also safety? Because I think it's much more safe to have a driver display in front of you, or at least a head-up display. Because now everything are on this screen here. And yes, I can definitely check the speed. And in driving, there's actually no problem on gazing to the right. I think this is decent enough. But the problem is that everything else are also on the screen. So everything you look at, everything you have to interact with are on the screen. So it's not just the speed you have to look away for. Not navigation, media, climate, and some of the things can be accessed with voice command, of course. You can access the climate, but car functions can't be accessed via voice command. You can't get the voice command to lower your window or to set your rain sensitivity or select your, to reduce your, let's see, I can overlay picture, to reduce your lighting on the display. You can't do this on your voice command. So you have to use, you have to touch it. And when you also put speed there, I don't know, I think it's too much bundled up in this screen and I can't see any benefits at all, honestly. I will gladly pay extra to have a head-up display. And I think Volvo should include a head-up display. Definitely, because there's no benefits now. I understand the sustainability aspect, yeah. Sustainable, wow, very, very, very good. It's important, but it just gets too much. Just give me a screen or give me a head-up display. And I know they have a price point, but put it as an option. Let it be an option. And then those that want a head-up display could just pay extra to get it. And I would pay extra to get a head-up display. And it will also free up space on the screen. Because now most of the real estate are used on the navigation. And you can't customize it that much. So I just don't see any benefits. It's not worse, or maybe it is worse. This is not better. It's just okay. Now you have a speed there instead of there. And the speed is one thing. What about navigation? When you're navigating in an area you're not familiar with, instead of just having a navigation in a head-up display or just in front of you while you're maneuvering about, I think this is a step back. So this center screen, this is the third worst thing with the EX30 in my opinion. So that is why it's on my number 3. And it's not just that it's one screen. I can overlay as well some pictures, or let's see, you can probably do a video clip. So I don't have to move the camera. So one of the other things I don't like with this center screen, the fairly small icons. The climate here are pretty good, easy to touch, but the icons or the information you get on top here, 171 kilometers remaining or estimate range, 38% state of charge. Yeah, let's get away. And then you have this speed sign recognition. If it's 60 or 80, I'm not sure. How the heck am I supposed to see this? Yeah, I know I'm old as heck, and I probably need glasses or something at some point, because I can't see if this is 60 or 80. Why the heck do I need to be so small? And also this state of charge. If I want to have a bigger state of charge measurement, I have to go into the menu, settings, charging, 38%. Why can't I have it this size? I don't know, somewhere where I want to have it. So the small things, I don't know, I think it's too small. Another thing I find weird, that is sometimes icons and things menu are doubled up. See, now I have the max defroster here and opening of the glove compartment. Easy accessible, but I can also access them via the car icon and then glove compartment and max defroster. Why do I need it double up? Why can't I use these buttons as a shortcut for my own preferences? Because one of the things I would have there is this. See, open up this one, settings, controls, and I will adjust the display brightness. This is one of the shortcuts I would have. I know Chris would like to have this rain sensitivity. He would have this as a favorite button. And another thing I would like to have accessible are the time interval to vehicle ahead when using cruise control. Short, medium or long. Or maybe the performance all-wheel drive or ESC. Why can't I have that in the shortcut buttons? So I wish we could customize this further. And this is an early version. Maybe Volvo will implement some changes eventually, but some of the things are just twice off, and I don't see the point of having it several places. Also like this hazard light. You can have a hazard light here, and you also have a hazard light button here. Also a max defroster. Why do I need it? Why do you need it? Yeah, not gonna press it. So there's a lot of things to say about this center screen layout that I'm not a fan of, honestly. And that's why it's my point number 3. And that takes us to point number 2, and that is actually regards to the steering wheel. And this is also two-sided, like the screen, because the screen was both functionality and also that is the one screen. And the steering wheel also two-sided. One of the things I don't like with the steering wheel are that the rim are too thin. My own preferences, of course. I think it should be slightly thicker. Maybe not as thick as the iX2 from BMW. That is really thick and has some girth to it. But I think it's just too thin. And I commented this the first day I tested it. I was like, why is it so thin? I wish it was slightly thicker. So yeah, but again, personal preferences. But then the elephant in the room, or one of the elephants, holy moly, goddamn useless piece of shit. Of all the things they could have done, that they put in these buttons here, oh holy crap, I just want to rip this shit out. This is almost the worst thing with the whole EX30. Because I'm currently driving a Volvo XC40, I almost said EX40, but I'm currently driving XC40. And I really, really love those buttons compared to this. This is like a capacitive shit. And there's very, very hard to navigate on these buttons at night without looking down, because you really have to touch the exact same location to make something. If you misclick something, it doesn't respond at all. You have to really push the correct location. But I know Volvo are working on this. And already for the Model 25, I can overlay a picture. They have a new layout for the buttons with small indentations that you can at least feel it. And I know Volvo said that they want to work on to get the area, the touch area, slightly bigger, so it will respond within a wider area. Because now this is just so goddamn annoying, and also slow to respond, because sometimes if I haven't used them for a little while and I want to do like one push, then it doesn't respond. It's like you have to wake the panel up and then ask for the command. Just goddamn. So, but I know Volvo working on it. The new Model 25 change will probably just be a new plastic cover on top, so it's still capacitive. But I don't understand why they didn't just use the XC40 steering wheel. That is significantly better, because this really pisses me off. And also this customizable button, that is only 3 things you can preset to it. I wish it would more function, and I wish that I could ask what function I would like to have there. Because sometimes I would prefer to have all-wheel drive, and sometimes I would used to have the brightness adjustment. But all-wheel drive, maybe I would just have it accessible. Just engage all-wheel drive instead of fumbling about in the screen. So that was my number 2, and that leaves us with number 1, the biggest elephant in the room, and it's not me. And it's not the center screen, but it is another screen. It is this awful, awful driver alert monitoring system, this eye tracking box here. Because this thing, you can see it now, but maybe if I grab a picture of it, you can see this red light. Oh, I almost had it, yeah. This thing are watching you. Why the heck did the light go away? You couldn't see me? Yeah, grab a picture of that. This thing are watching you like, I think it was 13 times every second or something, and it will really bug you if you don't pay attention. If you have seen my highway range test, I was driving in a roundabout. I looked to the left, I looked to the right, and maybe to the left again. I'm not sure. If I was just looking at the roundabout to see, can I drive? Are you gonna drive? But the car was moving when I did it. I had full control in front, I was just looking, and you know what? The car yelled at me, just, stay focused, keep your eyes on the road. So, well, what the heck do you think I'm doing? Piece of shit, I am focusing on the road, but the road aren't always here. You have to have a wider view of sight. You have to look at pedestrians, other cars, intersections, and sometimes you do that while you are rolling. And to get yelled at is so goddamn annoying. It's almost as annoying that I will put it on the ugly list, because this ticks me off. And if you want to adjust it or take it off, rather not adjust it, just take it off. I can also put in that, because that's a little hassle. Let's see, waiting for the car to drive by. It's not easy accessible here as the speed limit warning and the lane keep 80. You have to deeper dive. First, settings. Driving. Scroll down. Safety assistance, view all. And there you have it, driver alert. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Definitely sure. And Volvo doesn't want you to take this off. Obviously, it's a safety measure. And there's also some law restrictions or regulations. And personally, I think that at one point, I don't think it's going to be allowed to turn this off either. But yeah, the time will tell. But I talked to a safety guy at Volvo at this event, Big Winter Drive, and I asked him if the Volvo have plans to tweak the aggressiveness or the sensitivity to allow you to look without getting yelled at. I look at the navigation more than what it is now, because now I find it slightly aggressive. And he was understandable, he understood my point, but Volvo's plan are also, from a safety aspect, to make it so good that you don't have to turn it off, that you don't want to turn it off. And that's just, in my head, another approach to say less aggressive, because now I find it to be quite aggressive. You get, keep your eyes on the road. But fuck you, I am keeping my eyes off the road. And who is the driver, me or you? If you want to drive, okay, be my guest, but if not, just shut up. I am the driver. In my car, I am the driver. And it's so nice to come back in my XC40 and not getting yelled at. Focus, man. I am focused. And if you look at the media and you are driving, I think I know this is, the intention are probably good to avoid distractions, maybe from your phone, but I don't know. I just don't know. I find it to be annoying, because it doesn't, and especially when you have one screen. Give me a navigation in a head-up display. That will at least take away some of the looking to the side. Navigation, speed, I don't know. But this driver alert, I actually turn it off almost every single time. It's like 9 out of 10 times I take that shit off, because I can't drive around and getting yelled at. And you could probably say that I have driven it so many times, several hours, I'm never getting yelled at. Yeah, that's probably true. It's probably me that I'm probably a bad driver, because sometimes I'm looking to the side, I'm looking at the media, but I can do that, looking down, up, media. Oh, not gonna take on the music, but I can do this while I'm driving. I was listening to a podcast, and I can do this, but when you have this thing on, it doesn't take a lot of pressing before you're getting yelled at. Yeah, I have to stop rambling about. So, driver alert. Annoying. And to summarize, the top 5, we started with the luggage door or the frunk. That was the point number 5. Number 4, brake pedal. Point number 4, steering wheel. Point number... Oh, have I forgotten something now? Point number 3 was the... oh, sorry, we do that again. Point number 5 was tied with the frunk and the luggage door. Point number 4, brake pedal. Point number 3, center screen. Point number 2, steering wheel. Point number 1, driver alert monitoring system. And that leaves us with the ugly thing. What is the ugly thing with Volvo's EX30? And for that, we're jumping outside again. So it's time to wrap it up. It's getting cold and it's wet here at the beautiful Solbergfossen power plant, but a beautiful backdrop. But it's getting cold and wet, and the video is probably too long already. But as I said, the ugly truth for me are the competition, especially and exclusively the Smart #1 and the Seeker X, and particularly or especially in the interior, because Volvo have had another approach to the interior in this segment. They have done much more minimalistic and done cost saving across the board, all from reducing or removing the driver display, no head-up display available, and also no center armrest in the back seats. No center armrest, no cup holders. You can't adjust the length of the back seats that is possible in the Smart #1. The Seeker X also has a pretty wicked augmented reality head-up display, and by removing elements as this, Volvo have saved a lot of money. And I know they have to build it at a certain price point, also to appeal to a wider audience. Maybe I'm not their target group, and yeah, even if it's quite appealing, maybe I'm not their target group, because I appreciate like a head-up display or a driver display and elements as the armrest in the back seats, even if I'm not sitting in the back seats. But I think Volvo should include it either way, because they could still offer the car at this price. The only thing that will be reduced are the profit margins on each car. And I want Volvo to make money, and this will be a money machine for them, because this is the car where Volvo has the biggest or highest profit margin, and they're going to sell a shitload of EX30s. That means Volvo going to earn a lot of money on this EX30. Open up. They're going to earn a lot of money on the EX30, but I think they should have included stuff as the armrest in the back seat, and also a driver display, like a head-up display. Seeker X has a wicked head-up display, and in the Smart #1 you can adjust the rear seats. You also have a cool box, or like a cooled storage box under your armrest. I think the interior are much better in both the Smart #1 and also the Seeker X. What I don't like with the Smart #1, that is a pretty polarizing exterior. I don't like the exterior on the Smart #1. This is quite handsome on the exterior, but the interior, it kind of falls apart. The Smart #1, that is opposite. You want to close your eyes when you're walking towards it, but then when you step in, it's kind of good. I actually prefer the Seeker X exterior over the Smart #1. But the interior in the Seeker X, oh, that is, every time I'm driving this one, I'm just feeling, why is this badge, or why is this car badged a Volvo with this interior? In my head, I would prefer to have this interior in the Seeker and the Seeker interior in this one, because I feel that Volvo should be above Seeker. And now I feel Seeker are above Volvo. Seeker are premium, Volvo are like basic. And in my head, it doesn't make sense. Why should you pay the same amount and get less? But I know you're buying a Volvo, you're not buying a Seeker. But the ugly truth for me are that I think in the interior, Smart is better. Seeker X is better. So you're buying the badge, you're buying the Volvo. And I'm not sure if that is enough. So that was the ugly truth. Tough competition from its corporate cousins, surprisingly. But that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section down below. So that's it for this time, and I appreciate every like, every comment, and if you're new viewers, if you will consider subscribing to my channel. But now it's time to get into the car again and get some heat going. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye bye.